It all started with a message I never expected. My ex-husband James had sent me a wedding invitation. At first, I laughed. After all the pain, betrayal, and humiliation he put me through, the last thing I expected was to see my name on his guest list. But then, I looked closer. The note wasn't kind. It was cruel. He wanted me to be there to see what I had lost. For a moment, anger burned inside me. But then, something inside me whispered, "Go." Not to cry, not to beg, but to show him who I had become. My name is Emily, and once upon a time, I was married to James. We were young, in love, or at least I thought we were. But when the storms of life hit, James changed. When I lost my job, instead of supporting me, he began to call me a burden. When the bills piled up, he reminded me daily of how useless I was. And when I finally started a small business to get back on my feet, he mocked me, saying I would never make it. The final blow came when James fell in love with another woman, Sophia. She was wealthy, beautiful, and everything I was not, at least in his eyes. One evening, he told me coldly, "Emily, you will never be enough for me. I want a woman who can give me the life I deserve." With tears in my eyes, I packed my bags and walked away from the home we once shared. I had nothing. No money, no support, and no family nearby, but I had my dignity. Months later, I worked tirelessly on my little catering business. Slowly, things began to change. My cakes, my food, my service, people loved it. Orders came in from every corner, and before long, I was catering events I once only dreamed of attending. Then one morning, I opened my mailbox, and my heart skipped a beat. An envelope. Inside was a wedding invitation. James marrying Sophia. At first, I wanted to rip it apart, but then again, I noticed something strange. The invitation was personally signed by James himself, with a note that read, "I hope you can make it. It will be good for you to see what you lost." My knees went weak. My ex-husband didn't just want to marry another woman. He wanted to parade his happiness in front of me, to shame me. For days, I battled with myself. Should I go? Should I stay away? Finally, I whispered to myself, "No, I will go, but not for him. For me." The day of the wedding arrived. I didn't just want to show up. I wanted to show up as the woman James never believed I would become. I slipped into a long, flowing emerald green gown that sparkled under the light. Every detail whispered luxury and elegance. Around my neck was a simple diamond necklace, subtle but powerful enough to make a statement. As I stepped out of my luxury black Mercedes, heads instantly turned. Guests waiting outside stopped mid-conversation. Some even pulled out their phones. For the first time in years, I wasn't the abandoned, pitiful ex-wife. I was the woman everyone wanted to know. And when I walked into the grand hall, the whispers grew louder. James' eyes widened. He clearly didn't expect me to arrive looking like a billion-dollar dream. Throughout the ceremony, I could feel his gaze darting at me, almost unsettled. And then came the moment that changed everything. The master of ceremonies announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, today's feast is proudly catered by Emily's Delights." Gasp filled the room. Yes, the very food, the cake, the drinks, all of it was prepared by my company. James' face turned pale. The man who once mocked me for my small business was now celebrating his wedding with the success of that very business. He had invited me to humiliate me, but instead, he had showcased my success to everyone who mattered in his new world. Sophia smiled warmly at me, clearly oblivious to James' cruel intentions. But James, he couldn't even look me in the eye. After the ceremony, guests walked up to me, congratulating me on the incredible work. Some even booked me for future events on the spot. James approached me quietly, his voice trembling. "Emily, I didn't know you've become so successful." I looked at him, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with peace. "James," I said softly, "you taught me something valuable, that sometimes being broken is just the beginning of being rebuilt. I may have lost you, but I found myself." He just stood there speechless as I turned and walked away with my head held high. And in that moment, I realized this: the best revenge is not anger, it's not hate, but success and peace of mind. That day, James invited me to his wedding to shame me, to mock me, to humiliate me. But in the end, it was he who stood there humiliated, ashamed. And me? I walked away, victorious, stronger, richer, and unbothered. Have you ever been underestimated, only to prove everyone wrong later? Share your story in the comments. Your comeback might inspire someone today.